Okay, I made some equations. They're not all real, but let me walk you through them. Okay, so here I have the truck with the jet engine on it blowing that way. And the idea is it has some velocity of the air coming out there, and there's some velocity of the oil going up. And so let's get the velocity of the air coming out. I said the thrust was at 50,000 pounds, and I just made some magic. That's about 300 meters per second. Conversion just in his head. Okay, so there's 300 meters per second. But as you get closer, the speed gets greater. So I have this expression, 300 meters per second times 20 meters divided by x. So as x gets smaller, this gets bigger. Okay, next, the velocity of the oil. So it's 1,000,000 10 to the 6th barrels per day. 1 day is very close to 10 to the 6 seconds. This is an approximation. You don't have to actually write down the exact thing. We're just getting approximations. So I have 1 barrel is about 10 cubic meters. I just guess it's not. But this conversion, I put 10 to the 7th cubic meters per day. And then I convert days to seconds, and I get cubic meters per second of 10 cubic meters per second. Now, what's the volume, the speed? It depends on the size down here of the radius of this. I picked it at half a meter radius. You can change that if you want. And that would give around a square meter area. If I take the volume per second divided by the area, I get the speed. And so I get the speed of the oil is 10 meters per second. So I have 300 meters per second decreasing with distance, airspeed, and that. Okay, now how close do you have to get to put out the fire? So I said that if the combination of this velocity and that one gives an angle of 1 degree, then it's kind of blown out. I just picked that. So that's 1 degree, that's the velocity of the air, that's the velocity of the oil. So the tangent of 1 degree would be the ratio of oil to air velocity. Solve for that and you get the velocity of the air, 600. This is pretty complicated, I know. But you gotta try to figure out something. The velocity of the air is 600 meters per second. So solve for x from over here, and I get 10 meters. Okay, now the time. Most importantly, which I really had a lot of trouble with. So I just said there's 10. I used the speed of the oil for how long, so 10 meters per second. And I say it has to go 10 meters times some factor related to the area. So that's at pi r squared again, divided by the area of 0.1 square meter, which has to do with the jet, which I just made that up. Okay, so that gives 120 seconds. This number you could get you could just change this number and get whatever you want. I figure 2 minutes. That sounds good. So I'll send you a picture of this. But here's the whole thing in all its BSness. But that was a pretty challenging and creative solution.